So, hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the OwlyFans Podcast. It doesn't feel like the first ever episode to us.
That might be because it's not, but...
It's not. This is, I think, the third first ever episode, plus an additional 7 hours of attempts a couple of years ago. So... We've had many practice runs for this podcast, but we're hoping this is the one. Well, we kind of need this one to be the one because this is getting uploaded tomorrow.
Yes.
So we have run out of time.
Well, we have time tomorrow. You never know.
We can record a fourth first ever tomorrow.
In the morning, we've got to edit it. Yeah.
So this episode is titled "Who Are the Hosts?" as in like an who.
Very good. Very clever. That's all your idea. You get the blame for that one.
Yes. Someone told me you look like an owl.
Who? Oh God, I had to process that.
Who?
That took me a while. I'm a little bit slow.
So
That's all become apparent.
So we've got a bit of a schedule for this first episode, which we're going to kind of follow for most of the podcast, actually. So we're currently just doing our introductions. We're going to explain sort of the things we're going to be talking about in the podcasts. And then each one we want to start off with like an in the week section. So just any new or funny things, bits of news that's happened for us recently in the week or beyond. Then we're going to have the main topics that we'll be talking about will make up most of the podcast episodes. And then at the end, we've got a little quiz for each other on each episode. So one of them was your idea.
Yeah, so for one of the quizzes we're going to do is going to be basically a bird call. So we each going to give each other a bird call, and the other has to guess what species it comes from.
And then I added to that scientific names.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll each give each other scientific name and try and guess the bird as well, and there'll be different birds for each.
So you'll all quickly find out how unqualified we are to make a podcast. So, I mean, if you've already watched the trailer, you know the types of things we're going to talk about. We're not limiting ourselves just to falconry. It's going to be all things about birds of prey, science, animal training.
As you would say, all over the place.
All what?
All over the place.
It's going to be all over the place.
There we go,
We are all over the place.
Yeah.
And I imagine as we get into this, the podcast will probably reflect that.
Oh, definitely. I hope so. That's my only goal.
What? To make us look like we're all over the place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be interesting. I just want people to realise why it shouldn't happen.
And then we've also decided upon an upload schedule, which I'm hoping we're going to stick to, but don't hold us to it. Don't get your hopes up. Don't hold us to anything.
We both run into several hundred problems each time we try and do anything, apparently. So.
Yeah, but we're hoping to upload every other Saturday.
Yes.
So
at 7 o'clock.
This is going to be live.
Again, don't hold that
tomorrow,
time.
Saturday the 2nd of March at 7 o'clock English time.
GMT.
GMT.
Greenwich Mean Time. Or is it UTC as well? Or is that 1 hour ahead or 1 hour behind? I don't know.
I have no idea.
UTC doesn't have the...
I don't know what UTC is.
Universal Standard Time. Or something like that. But it doesn't have the hour in the summer. That's the only difference. But it's basically our time.
So basically...
We invented time.
Yes, and we're in the centre of the map because we're the most
important. We're the best.
As English
people.
We
found everything, colonised it, took all the food and then left and then don't cook with any of it. So, perfect.
So, 7 o'clock English time, every other Saturday. So, let's get into it. News for us too. In the week, Jake has some big announcements to make.
I do have some big announcements to make. So I am just in the process of setting up my first business. So it's going to be a bird of prey related business. Thank you. And the reason I'm setting up a business is because there's going to be a YouTube channel along with it. And if I'm setting that up, I might as well just set up a whole branded thing. If I have to do it for YouTube, it might as well be done for everything else. So
branding is key.
Yes. So
build a brand.
Yeah. So I've started making a page and a website and all of that for it, and I'm in the process of editing a few things together and recording some stuff.
And it's called?
It's called JM Falconry.
JM Falconry.
Very original.
Very inventive.
Yeah. I can't name anything, so I might as well just call it that. You know?
JM Falconry.
I don't even have a name for one of my birds.
But you're not a real falconer, Jake.
I'm not a real falconer. That is very true. No,
gosh,
I don't hunt with birds of prey. I train them. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I would like to quickly touch on that. I'm going to take a mouthful of beer before I get into this bit, though.
That will help.
So, I get told that all the time. Why are you called Mercer Falconry? You don't actually do real falconry.
Well, it makes more sense for branding, though.
It's a branding choice. It's a business choice. The majority of the public don't know that falconry is the art of hunting, quarry, of a trained bird of prey. They just think of falconry as somebody who flies birds of prey. So to be able to be found when people search for things, falconry is just a much better term for business purposes.
Yeah.
Like people who run events, I've actually checked it on things like Google Trends and stuff. People search a lot more for falconry displays and falconry experiences than for something like bird of prey display, bird of prey experiences. So, So what? So bloody what? Get off my case.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I just think. Yeah, I think the same thing. So, it's fine if you want to be all pedantic about it. At the same time, though, I think it's a bit rich because the display industry is sort of the public image of falconry as well.
Yeah.
So I think that serves a valuable job.
I've said this to hunting falconers in the past. I think, because I've had a lot of stick for it, and I think us who do displays deserve a bit more respect, because I think that traditional falconry hunting can largely be ignored and left alone by the public, because us who are doing displays are like over here dazzling everybody, saying, look at all of this, look at me flying with my birds over here, leaving the traditional hunting falconers to quietly go and do their own thing separately.
I also think it's just a good thing to raise awareness as well, and like, you know, a falconer's perspective, because they don't have a massive voice, I don't think. So
yes,
but
but
we have hawkboard, but
well, having said all of that, news in the week for me is I spent all of Saturday hunting with golden eagles.
There you go.
So take that,
you were
my
actually
subscribers.
Mercer Falconry for a
I
second.
was actually Mercer Falconry, eagle falconry. I'm a hare hawker now. I'm an eagle falconer.
Yeah.
You may as well call me Joe Atkinson.
How many kills?
How many kills? We had one.
Yes.
We got one hare. I almost caught a deer, a Chinese water deer.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I almost caught footage of Kyle Sharpe's penis.
Yes.
Because he was wearing a head mic.
I haven't seen it yet.
You've not seen the footage?
No, I want to see the footage.
I'll find you the footage.
Yeah. I think we should paste it into this, just the audio.
Yeah, we'll add the audio in. Well,
Yeah.
I have found the file, but Kyle was wearing a head-mounted camera for me, and I left him in charge to hit record and stop recording in between slips and things. And he got completely muddled up because he couldn't see, so he was recording when he didn't need to record and stopped recording when he wanted to record. And unfortunately, that meant that when he went for a wee, he was recording the whole thing.
Yes. And that's very interesting.
So he walked round the corner from a bush he was hiding in, and I looked up and just saw the little red blinking light, and I thought, oh my God.
He did say it was a good job because he wasn't looking down.
He didn't look down. So I do just have footage of a bush and audio of Kyle going, ah.
Lovely. So yeah, might not have been a wee after all, you know.
Yes. Well, you're welcome, Kyle. You might not have wanted that out in the world, but it's there.
Yes. Well, it definitely is now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to include the audio.
I hope so. Yes. I just thought of that as an idea as I was talking about it.
So yes, it was a long day. We were out for, I think, 7 hours. We walked 10 miles in total, but it was a difficult 10 miles because we have had so much rain recently that every field was thick, sludgy mud, and so every step you took, you slipped, and each step you took, you also picked up half the field with yourself, and so my boots were getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and we were slipping and sliding through sludgy mud for 10 bloody miles.
Well, I've seen the state of those boots out there.
Yeah, well, that's after I banged them off as well. I almost fell over with one of the eagles.
Did you actually?
Yeah, there's actually a clip. Maybe I could include the clip
excellent.
as well.
Perfect.
There was a little break in the hedges, and I was carrying Kyle's eagle, and Dave Sharpe was carrying his golden eagle, and I thought it'd make a nice clip to have us both walk through this gap in the hedge together. So Dan, who was holding my camera, went and stood on the other side, but there was a little bank going up to it.
Yeah.
So we both started walking around in the middle of what was supposed to be a really nice shot. Because I was filming it for YouTube, I then almost just slip and face plant into the mud. So yes, enjoy Kyle peeing in a bush and me almost falling over with a golden eagle on my hand.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have let go if you did fall over.
No, I wouldn't have. I knew I would have kept hold.
Yes.
Especially if it's not my bird.
I didn't let go when I had a peregrine on my face. So.
Yeah, well... we did...
the peregrine didn't let go either, but you know.
I did almost get taken away with one of the golden eagles at one
point. In the wind?
Yes.
Yeah.
I stood on top of a hill and a massive gust of wind came, and Kyle didn't tell me that if you even if he's hooded, he will open his wings in the wind. So he immediately opened up his wings, and my arm just shot up in the air.
Well, they can carry like hares and I don't know. You don't weigh much more than a hare, do you?
I had to use my other hand and grab hold of the jesses with my other hand, still holding them all with my glove, and use both arms to pull him back down, and then fold his wings away.
You could have invented a new system of transport there.
It's like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Use fly. You can only ever travel down a hill on a windy day, though.
Yeah. With a hooded eagle. I mean, not ideal. You'd have to steer somehow. Have to install a system for that, but yeah.
Just pull on each jess.
Yes,
like you're paragliding.
Like a horse's reins. Brilliant.
So, let's move on. Why is this episode called Who Are the Hosts? Well, because we wanted to let you know who we are. Who are the hosts? We are the hosts.
I think you... Yeah.
Who?
I think you...
How many times can I say who?
Drum that in enough now. I think we've had enough.
So we thought the best way to do that, rather than us like draining you all and just droning on and on and on about our own personal journeys with birds of prey, we're going to ask each other a couple of questions. We're going to ask each other a couple of questions that we can really flesh out.
Yes.
With conversation.
Hopefully.
And then we're also going to go through a quickfire edition. Question 1. Hang on.
Question 1.
I accidentally just mentally slipped into when I do the American Falconry exam for YouTube videos.
Your eagle suddenly develops.
My first question for you, Jake, is what was the first species of bird of prey you ever looked at or saw flying that made you think, I am going to be working with these animals?
That's a good question. Yes. Excellent question. Almost like I've heard it before.
Almost like we've tried to do this before.
I tried to do that convincingly then, and it didn't work. Right. Okay, the first experience I had with a bird of prey, and I wouldn't say it made me think, I want to do it as a career. It was just like, this is incredible, and I'd like to do more of it and have a look at what this is all about. And it was volunteering at the National Centre for Birds of Prey, quite a well-known centre in the UK.
Yeah. This is how we met.
Yes, and they were flying some falcons on display. And the annoying thing about it is I can't remember exactly what bird it was that was flying.
Yes. Well, we've already discussed this, but I'm going to assume it was most likely a Lanner falcon.
Yes, and I think you're probably right, because they were known for their Lanner falcons there. Well, Jemima was known for her Lanner falcons, and by proxy they were.
Yes.
Well,
NCBP just gets all the runoff. All the runoff
all the
birds.
dregs.
Yeah. If Mima doesn't want a bird, she just sends it up to Yorkshire.
It's like Russia, they'd send you off to the gulag. But for birds of prey, they just send you up to Yorkshire.
Getting sent up to NCBP.
It's punishment. It's like a penal colony. No. But even the runoff from mimers are absolutely brilliant birds. So
Yes.
they train them in a very interesting way at the National Centre for Birds of Prey, the falcons and the eagles actually as well, where they will thermal, circle up, get lots of lift, and try and find some nice wind on the trees and everything, and just get really up nice and high. And they will come in at extreme speeds for a big stoop, fold their wings in.
Yes, incredible
speed. So fast you can actually hear them coming in, which is something that I didn't really expect when I first saw it, was that the sound of it as well. It's just incredible.
The wind ripples.
Yes.
Through that, you hear the feathers basically like vibrating
all
in the wind.
The vortices coming through the feathers, all the wind around, all the air around, trying to, having to be forced out the way by this bird coming in.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you're looking at it when it's quite far away, otherwise you just miss it.
Yeah, you also miss it. Yeah. If you blink it, it really is always easy. You blink, you miss it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that was just unbelievable, I think. And this was just when I was volunteering. I think it was the first day I was volunteering there, and I was just sort of like on a break and said, you can go and watch the display if you want. And then I was going to say as well, weirdly enough, I've never paid to get in there. So I just got to see all the displays for free.
I have.
Yes, once.
Yes, I went as a visitor before I was a staff member.
I was going to say, I hope you weren't paying them to work there.
No, oh God, definitely not. No. I mean, it's a fun career, but it's definitely not. It's not that fun.
Yes.
I've never paid to get into ICBP.
Okay, yeah. So opposite.
Yeah. I used to cycle there from university.
Yeah.
Because it was because I was a volunteer.
You said about that,
I didn't have a car, and I chose to go to a university just so I could volunteer at ICBP.
Yeah.
So I picked the closest university, and it was still a 2-hour bike ride from the centre.
2 hours? I didn't know it was 2 hours.
I would get
I thought it was like half an hour or something. That's unbelievable.
I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get on my bike, and cycle to be there for like 7 or 8.
Insane.
It wasn't. It was main roads as well.
Yeah.
It was like really
You used to
fast.
get a lift in sometimes, didn't you?
There was one section I had to cycle on was a dual carriageway.
Is that allowed? I don't think so.
And there's all these cars whizzing past me on my little bike. That my
You were
uncle,
just in the hard shoulder, cycling down.
Oh,
you're
uncle had just
joking.
left. My uncle had lent me the bike, and it was like a proper. Like my uncle lives in Bristol, and he had a very good career, so he's set up nicely with his retirement. So he's quite a posh man. So it wasn't like a road bike or anything. It was just like one of these posh people, like up really
like
upright.
a racing bike, sort of, like
It's
a
just
cycling
we have
bike.
to like sail right. It's just like cycling along. And I had a basket.
Oh, okay. No, not a racing bike then.
Horn,
Yeah.
literally like a honker horn.
Yeah.
You would squeeze and it would go honk. So this dual carriageway, cars whizzing past, and there's this me pedalling along. Yes, thankfully I ended up making
I wonder how
friends
many
with one of
times
the other
you
volunteers.
closed the road. That's what I want to know.
But they were pretty exhausting days to having cycled
Yeah, and then
2
you're
hours,
volunteering. And bearing
doing
in
a full
mind,
day
when
and
you-
cycling 2 hours back again.
When you volunteer at one of these centres, you end up walking close to like 30 or 40,000 steps a day. So not only are you cycling for 2 hours, you're doing 40,000. I mean, your food bill must have been insane. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they fed me well whilst I was there.
Good. We never got food. when I
Yeah,
volunteered.
see, so that was a
Bring in
difference.
ours.
A difference between NCBP and ICBP is that ICBP, I think it must have been 10 o'clock was always tea and toast time.
Yes, yeah.
So we would always at 10 o'clock we'd all go down to the cafe, and the cafe ladies would put on like just toast, like a couple of loaves of bread, and we'd all sit around and have a cup of tea or a coffee and sit and eat our toast, and then
Feels a bit more like they had a good setup for volunteers rather than it just being a sort of.
But it wasn't just volunteers; it was all staff Everybody
yeah,
was
yeah,
there. And then, oh God, I really annoyed Mima one time during tea and toast section.
Tea and toast section.
Yes. So the last slice of toast was always reserved for the 5 dogs. You were not allowed to touch it. But somebody gave me the revelation of buttering your toast before putting Marmite on it. I always used to put Marmite just onto the dry toast because I didn't think you could mix it with butter.
Yeah.
And somebody revealed it to me, and I thought, oh my God, and I'd cycled for 2 hours. I was bloody hungry, and I really wanted to try buttery Marmite. And I took the last slice, and then Mima shouted with her hands on her hips, "Where's the last slice of toast gone?" And the cafe ladies had to toast more bread. And I just sat there really quietly in the corner, eating my buttery Marmite toast that was supposed to be for the dogs. And then she told me, people have been not hired during interviews for not getting on with her dogs.
Oh. I thought you were going to say people have been buried somewhere.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me.
People have been buried for this.
So, I.
And that's when she sent you up to Yorkshire, like the birds.
Get rid of this one, send it back to Yorkshire. So yes, but that was a long tangent from what was the first bird.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, it went down the alleyway of my experiences there, and you've got lots of experiences in the similar sort of thing there.
So, shall we move on to another one?
Let us move on to another one. Oh yes, it's my turn, isn't it? Let me just have a look. Ever prepared.
I think I'm going to pour a drink.
I think you should pour me another drink.
No, you keep your glass, I'll bring it over here.
Oh my God, like having a waiter.
Table service.
Excellent. Sofa service. Sofa service sounds a bit dodgy. What are you doing? I'm just receiving some sofa service.
Ooh, especially on this one, second-hand sofa service.
Oh, second-hand. Leathery.
Sloppy second sofa service.
Leathery, sloppy second sofa service. God, that's a lot of sibilance, isn't it?
A lot of sibilance.
Sibilance. When you use lots of S's in a row. Sibilance. No. Wrong.
Syphilis.
Wrong word.
Tilt your glass, otherwise it'll foam
yeah.
over. Have you got a question yet?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to concentrate on the fact that you might spill this everywhere.
Oh, it's like Russian cosmonauts.
Oh, that is
cosmonauts trying to dock together. We're both moving in different directions.
It's like that scene in Interstellar.
Where's the little puffs of air? Right.
And it's not air, it's monopropellant.
Right, yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, that thing.
It might be oxygen. I don't think it is, though. It's monopropellant. Right.
Okay.
Right, Daniel, don't look at my questions. It's cheating.
I'm not looking at your questions.
You've heard them all already at this point, anyway, I think. Who's your biggest falconry influence? Recycled.
Go on, then.
I don't know. I've never asked you this in my life.
That's such a lie. Okay, there are two.
Okay.
One is not strictly falconry. One very much is. So as a child, I was. I don't know why I need to say it as a child. I still am obsessed with Steve Irwin.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not still a child. Maybe mentally.
Yeah.
But the cruel hands of time.
And UV.
Are slipping away with me.
Ultraviolet.
And UV. I'm actually only 12.
He's just been working with birds outside with no sun protection for so long.
12 years old and I've worked with birds for 11 years. So, yes, Steve Irwin, I adored him. I just always knew I would watch all of his programmes as a child, and I knew that one day when I grew up, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But not so much reptiles. I always knew it would be birds. I never knew it would be birds of prey. But I just always knew that I always knew that I loved birds because they are what is left of the dinosaurs.
And they're the only birds you like, aren't they, as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
The feathered kind, and I don't mean the burlesque ones.
Oh, come on.
So yes, I idolised Steve Irwin. I would sit and say to my parents, will you come and watch me when I do shows like this when I grow up? Which I think is wonderful because I think, even though it's not on the TV...
fuck off!
No, they were very encouraging.
I know, yeah.
Even though it's not on the TV,
shows, even to this day,
I do get to do shows, so I feel like I have lived my childhood dream. So Steve Irwin was a massive big inspiration, and then the other one, of course, is Mima, of course. I told you this saying, the saying I like to use about Mima the other day.
This ties it in nicely,
which is,
speaking about her. So,
yes, which is a twist on when people say you have to learn to walk before you can run. I like to think of Mima ran so the rest of us could walk in this industry.
Yes, you said that before.
Yes, so because I just think...
I agree.
Well, I mean, it wasn't strictly Mima that started it. It was her dad, Philip Glazier.
I have met her, but...
So he opened up the International Centre for Birds of Prey.
Yes.
Which at the time was the National Centre for Birds of Prey.
And wrote the Bible.
And wrote the Falconry Bible in 1967. So 50 odd years ago now. 56? 55? 50 something years ago.
I can't do maths.
Neither can I.
I don't even try anymore.
I just... and he produced what is now our careers.
Yes.
Because there was no such thing as a bird of prey display.
Yeah, well, there wasn't a centre.
Until that point. There wasn't a centre until that point. Yeah. So he produced that.
It was the Falconry Centre.
But then I think Mima has just absolutely taken it and just done so much work because I'm also very passionate about the conservation.
And she's very good at making it really look effortless as well.
Yes.
I think.
So Steve Irwin, big conservation.
And he's someone who just seems genuine.
Yes, very genuine, but a big conservationist. Mima is also now a big conservationist, and it is just what I aspire to one day do when my business is a bit more set up for it. I'd love to be breeding endangered species. I have a feeling that the situation currently is so dire that I won't ever be releasing endangered species. I don't think that's going to be a thing by the time I get there. Because I think there's lots of issues that need sorting out in the wild. Because what's the point in releasing a bird into a situation where it's going to be killed? Yeah.
So it's more solving the ecological problems before you actually start releasing.
So I think the general kind of idea or thinking currently of bird of prey conservation is starting to lean more towards breeding to keep in captivity, so that we have.
That's a lovely...
the genetic sort of stock in captivity. So if we can eventually sort out everything in the wild, we then have plenty of them in captivity to then go and be released.
A lovely positive change, isn't it? Brilliant. So, we've given up on the idea of actually trying to improve the population and now just trying to go, oh, well, if we just have them...
Just make sure that we've got plenty...
keep these alive.
Plenty of genetics in captivity to be released.
Just keep these alive.
So hopefully that's what I'll be doing one day.
Yeah, because we have had several successful...
I mean, I've had conversations with people who are very big in the industry about all of it.
Because we've had in the past several very successful reintroduction programs.
Yes. So I always believed that I would go down the vulture route. I'm starting to question that myself.
Right.
There are plenty of people doing very good work with vultures. I don't think I need to step into that space. It's being done very well by people who know how to do it very well. There isn't, as far as I'm aware, and as far as somebody who I was speaking to who's very big in the industry is aware, there isn't currently a project going on for Steller sea eagles.
Ah, okay, interesting.
So if something were to happen...
What are their population numbers like now?
I think they're of least concern. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm going to have to check.
I don't know.
I don't think they're of least concern, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't.
But yeah, as far as we're aware, nobody's actually got a specific project happening for conservation status vulnerable.
Vulnerable, okay, yeah.
So they're only just not least concern. They're vulnerable. But, I mean, we've seen it so many times with so many different species, how quickly they can just slip further and further on that list to eventually be extinct. So it would be nice to have a project where I can breed a load of Stellar sea eagles to then be dotted around. Basically what Project Looker does is kind of the way that conservation is kind of going, is to make sure that we've just bred enough and then dot them all around different places.
Yeah.
To make sure the genetics are all dotted around in case anything happens in the wild. So
Then, nice healthy breeding stock to go off of.
Again, that was a whole big old
a big
tangent.
long tangent about something else, but it's interesting.
Well, I'm going to move on because I've got another question for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Excluding any birds you have already flown, what would be your dream bird to train and fly?
Interesting. I haven't heard this one either.
No, you haven't. I've just come up with that in my head.
No, you've asked me that before.
No, I asked you a variation of.
Yeah, well,
I've changed it to not let you include peregrines because you've already flown them.
yes. Yeah. And, and that's just a really off-the-cuff answer anyway, because, I don't know, I like them all for different reasons as well. It's very difficult to just pick one. I would say that I would like to... Oh, Christ. I really would like... I don't know, it feels not like a very non-ambitious answer, but I would like to fly a kite.
Yeah.
And see what they're like. I really would like a red kite. I know they're a nightmare to keep, but...
Right. They're very big.
Yeah, they've got long feathers as well. They seem like it'd be a nightmare to keep nice, but...
Yeah.
I like them as a
I'd
species.
like a red kite
I like
as
them
well.
as a species. I just think they're really cool.
Yes.
And just the kite mentality as well, and what they do, the feeding feeding on the wing, sorry. And the style of flight is very interesting as well. I'm
just going back again to Mima. I was stood watching a kite display.
Anhedral or dihedral wing angle?
A dihedral wing angle.
Dihedral wing angle. Okay.
Yeah. So I was stood with Mima watching a kite display once, and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't rate it. This display that I was watching. I'm not going to drop any names. I'm not going to say whose display it was.
Oh, it wasn't mine. That's what I was just thinking.
I was stood watching it with Mima.
Right, yeah.
I didn't like it, but I wanted to know what Mima thought. So without giving my opinion away at all, after it finished, I just turned to her and said, "What do you think to that?" And she just said to me, "Oh, I didn't care for that," and then turned around and walked off.
Mine is very good at turning around and walking off.
She does it often to me.
She does it to me as well.
Has done it to me.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that.
The couple of times I've met her, it's been like, "Oh, hello, how are you?" You know, hello, or I'll speak to her. She shook me hand. She doesn't know who I was. Yeah. Said, "Oh, wait, was basically like a fanboy." It was quite embarrassing. Like, "Oh, I like everything you're doing," all of that. And then she just really quickly turned around and really raced off. But I felt like I was owed this conversation because I just bought one of the old perches. So
places to be, people to see.
Places to be, which is at the opposite end of where I am.
Not where you are.
Yeah.
So kites, okay.
No. But also I would very much like to fly an eagle species as well. Particularly, I quite like, grey buzzard eagle, black-chested eagle, fucking Chilean blue, whatever the name is for it.
Yeah, not really an eagle though, is it?
No, it's not. No, I know, but
it's a big buzzard.
Yeah.
But they're absolutely fabulous
cool.
for displays.
They're cool. I like them.
They are cool. Yes.
So even though it's a buzzard, it's nice.
I'd love one of those as well. I just don't like the price of them.
No, I know, and that's when you revealed that to me. I then thought, oh, okay, that's nice.
It's a big buzzard
Money,
with
no
the price
object,
tag of an eagle.
Money, no object. It would be a nice bird. Yeah. Other one would be a white-tailed sea eagle. Would be nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lovely birds.
Oh gosh, you'd be taken off with it.
Yeah, I would, yeah. So would you.
Yeah, I know.
You're lighter than me.
I've wrestled with them. That's fun.
Really?
They've got such long, bendy necks, aren't they? And their beaks are just razor sharp, so it's a very different kind of restraining. So you have to kind of like hug them and hold their feet whilst hugging one wing with one arm, and then with the other arm hug the other wing, but then hold their neck.
Okay.
Because otherwise they could just spin their head around and just bite your face off.
God. They have more vertebrae. They don't. They just have bendy vertebrae, don't they?
Well, they've got 14.
What all do we have?
We've got 7.
Oh, they have got more.
Yeah, all mammals have got 7 cervical vertebrae,
Yeah.
which is your neck bones. All birds have got 14 cervical
So they
vertebrae.
have got more. It's giraffes that have the same number of vertebrae as humans, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're also a mammal, it's just they're much bigger.
They're mammals, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so even though the owls are kind of famous for being able to spin their head all the way around, they're no different to any of the
200.
every
No, I know,
bird
it
can
just
do
looks more dramatic because they've got a big facial disc.
big flat face, yeah.
It's, about 270 degrees.
About 270,
yes.
Yeah, so it's not the bones that twist, it's the joints.
Yes.
So if you've got more bones,
You
you've
don't
got more
want
joints.
bones to twist. They generally, that's not a good idea.
And the more joints you've got, more twists you've got.
Bones generally don't bend. They normally break.
Yes. So, right.
Lovely. Oh,
Next
question time for you.
Yes.
And again, I'm not as professional as you, so I have to look at it because I've just got a memory like a goldfish. Right. What is your... Oh, God, it's the same question. It's
the same question as what you've just asked me.
Yeah, pretty
well,
much.
Okay, well I can.
What's your dream bird to fly?
Dream bird to fly. Oh.
Maybe we'll add one you've not already flown as well.
Right. Okay.
But that really limits the options.
God, I am incredibly lucky with my career to say that I have flown
A lot of birds.
the majority of birds on my dream bird list. So it gets hard to then try and find another one. I have not flown a griffon vulture, and I would love to.
Yes, we had 2, didn't we, at NCBP?
Yeah, one didn't have a wing.
Yes. they both couldn't fly, could they? I thought both of them had broken
No,
wings.
yeah. Ben started training one.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Very difficult to get one to fly in this country.
Eat a lot of
They're
run up
like
and lift. And
they're like
everything,
8 kilograms.
Yeah.
It's a bloody heavy bird.
Yeah. You need the heat.
So-
You need the heat of an arid environment.
Yeah, well, in places like Africa, they tend to just jump off a cliff and then just use the
Fall
thermal.
in, just plummet into the ground. You know. That's why they're.
And that's why there's none of them left. Mass suicide.
Suicidal griffon vultures.
So,
Like lemmings.
So yeah, they're very difficult to fly in this country.
Yeah.
I've seen people attempt it.
Maybe when you get a centre, you just invest in an enormous fan, like one of those indoor skydiving fans.
Yeah, well, the way that they did it in
Or a big block
Germany,
of cement
in Valsrode,
or something.
yeah, the
that you
Vogel
heat
Park,
up.
big block of cement that you heat up. God,
Yeah.
that's elaborate.
Why is
Run
that
a load of pipes through it.
No, you could just use the sun in summer.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. In Germany, they used a cherry picker.
Oh.
So they
To launch it off. Yeah.
yeah, see, so this is the difficulty, is that people... I've only ever seen people achieve a straight line flight from one.
Right. They don't.
So-
they can't get uplift and.
Places like
thermal
Warwick
and-
Castle that has got big, fancy birds. They
Well,
fly
they just
in a
fly
line,
over the
yeah.
audience, don't they?
This place in Germany that was flying actual Rappel's griffon vultures. Again, they just took it up in a cherry picker and it flew in a straight line.
And chucked it off. Basically, it was gliding down.
I've seen others on display that literally just waddled around the arena.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, the arena was just far too small for that kind of bird.
Was it a show?
Yeah, if you're going to be flying...
I think I know who you're talking about.
If you're going to be flying a bird like that,
yeah.
you need an enormous arena to give that bird space to actually
Was it
get
someone you might
around.
have taken over from? Certain events, yeah. Okay.
Yes, I did do that. Yes, I did manage to get to one of their events.
Yeah.
2 actually.
Well, a few, I thought it was. Or maybe I'm thinking of someone
No, I
different.
didn't. No, I got 2.
Ah, okay.
And then fell out with one of the events, so now I only do 1.
Yeah.
Fell out with one particular event because they invited somebody else, and I was not happy about this person being invited.
Yes, we know who that is. Yeah.
That was a
Yes.
dodgy ass display.
Okay, I don't remember it. I was there. I let go of one of your birds whilst I was there.
Yes, you did, and you watched this display with me. And the pair of us then walked away saying, "What on earth have we just watched?"
Oh, that display, yes. Yeah.
As the lure was chucked up in the air, whilst the falcon was going off doing its own random different thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny.
I think I was a bit funny to people who came up to our stand as well. I think because they were all like bigging it up as well.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it was
People thought
annoying
that
me a
we were
little
them.
bit.
People thought we were the same.
No, they were bigging up because it's a big spectacle, this display. So.
Yeah, it was bizarre to watch.
Yeah.
The fact that what he seemed to be doing and what the birds seemed to be doing were 2 completely separate things.
And the
Like you
bird-
could watch the
yeah.
bird and it was doing something.
And
You
the
could
bird
watch
wasn't
him
even
and he was
sort
doing
of
something.
nearby. It was
but
just
it wasn't.
going.
They weren't
It wasn't
connected.
No, it was.
It was completely 2
It was
random
almost
different things
yeah.
just happening in the same place.
Chuck everything out there and see what sticks. Sort of thing.
Yeah, it was bizarre. So, I mean, maybe we can go into far more detail
we'll go into it a different time.
another
I think.
time.
Yeah.
But to answer your original question, probably a griffin vulture.
Yeah.
So shall we do some quickfire questions?
Let's do some quick fire questions.
Right.
Go.
No, you've got all the questions.
Shit.
Go. You've got all the questions.
Am I giving? Are we doing 2 each? Aren't we?
No, we're not doing 2 each. We've just done 2 each long form questions.
So are we reading these off and?
Yeah, we're going to take it in turns though.
Okay.
So you're going to read me one, and I'll answer it, then you answer it.
Okay.
Then I'll read one, and you answer it, then I answer it.
I see.
But it's literally just answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I also need to be able to say.
What do you hope to achieve in your falconry career, Daniel? That's a very long form question. Isn't it?
Build a centre and do conservation work.
Perfect. What do I hope to achieve? I don't know. Maybe just fly some birds and I don't know, have some fun.
A nice simple life. Oh, I like to fly my birds.
Don't make me start doing that. We'll have to cut it out.
Right, where was that? That's not really a short form quick fire question.
No,
How did you get into falconry? Go on. How did you get into falconry? Quick fire.
I volunteered at the National Centre for Birds of Prey and then...
That's enough. I did work experience and then was hired.
You little one.
Supposed to be quick fire questions.
Yes. Has falconry had an... No, I can't ask you that one. It's far too long.
You don't know, but you don't need to ask the question really quick.
I know, but I'm enjoying it. So, has falconry had an impact in any other aspect of your life?
Yes, it's made me a lot more confident in myself.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
You think so? Think so? How?
I think it's same.
Oh, so yes, yeah. Well, getting in an arena and doing displays.
No, exactly.
Obviously,
yeah.
it's going to.
Yeah.
It forces.
Well, it made me
drags
leave
it
the
out
house,
of you.
which is beneficial, I think.
There's also a wonderful, wonderful, weird phenomenon in entering the arena, which is it's like somebody has pumped you full of morphine.
For you, yeah, I don't get that.
Oh right. Well, any hangover or any
No,
ailment,
I get that. Yeah.
I sometimes get. Look, it's very sad for a 27-year-old to get arthritis in his toes, but I sometimes get arthritis in my toes, and I hobble around in pain. And as soon as I step in that arena, it disappears. A hangover, it disappears. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Just keep them warm. That helps.
warm.
Your
Right, quick fire question.
Lovely.
Hybrid or pure?
Oh, okay, I didn't expect that. I was going to read one off here. Hybrid or pure?
Yes.
Pure, definitely.
Pure for me
I
as
don't know
well.
why pure. Are we going to explain?
Unless Jer is involved. Come on,
Right.
next question.
Any funny falconry stories? Have
I've
you
got
any?
loads of funny falconry
Well, it's your funniest
stories.
falconry story.
What do you mean? Okay. it's not
say
really a
funny
quick
story.
fire.
I don't give that much of a shit.
Okay, so at one of the events where all of the stallholders and falconry fair bit was in one section of the event, and then there's a big security fencing, and then the public camping, and the public had their own marquee for partying, and there was like a DJ and a dance floor and a bar and everything. And as an exhibitor and as part of the falconry fair, we were allowed to cross between the two, but the public were not allowed to come into our bit. This was late at night after everybody's gone home.
Yeah.
But the gate to get to the party tent was ages away. Me and Ben couldn't be bothered to walk all the way around to the gate, even though we had wristbands and we were allowed to be wherever we wanted, because we were part of the fair. So we decided to climb under the steel security fence, and we went and partied with all of the ladies and danced all night with all the ladies. Then we wanted more tequila, so we went back to the falconry fair bit, grabbed a bottle of tequila, which was my bottle of tequila, which then Ben took from me. We then went back to the fencing. As Ben climbed underneath, as I was about to, several different cars all drove up to me with headlights on and surrounded me, and a security guy with a big dog running up to me with it barking in my face, and they thought that we were trying to break in.
You can't say
They thought that we were trying to break in. And so even though I had a wristband on, they had to near enough detain me as I just turned round.
Well, I'm going to accept as a word.
Right, okay. And I turned round just to see Ben had just completely ran off with my bottle of tequila and ditched me with all the security guards. And the security had to take me all the way back
I can
to
see
the
that.
falconry fair
I can see
and
that.
sit me down where Adam was just very disappointed.
Oh, like the disappointed parent. I can see Ben running off, the lanky twat he is,
Yes,
with a bottle of tequila.
I looked round through the fence. There's all these security guards, and he was just there running
I've just
off
got a perfect
with
silhouette
my tequila.
of him like flailing about with a bottle of tequila.
His lanky arms
Yeah,
and legs.
yeah, I don't know why. This really springs to mind.
And then he reappeared much later on, having drunk all of my tequila.
Did he say sorry?
No, he did not say sorry.
Did you say sorry the next day, or was he alive?
No, he did not. No, he slept most of the next
Yes,
day.
I imagine he did.
Just on the floor, out in the open. There's actually a picture of it somewhere. Ben just on the floor, on grass, out in the open, asleep, in the middle of the day.
Oh my god.
So, anyway.
Right, this is a very quick fire.
I've got another quick fire one. Radio or GPS?
GPS, but I like radio.
Okay. Your turn again.
I like radio. It's like sentimental for me, radio. It's like
Yes.
ye olde, isn't it? Me again. Right. I was going to ask you another question. No, because you were going to ask me that, weren't you? Oh, don't worry about that.
Oh, I didn't answer the radio or GPS.
No, neither did you. Yeah. You didn't ask me the question that I just asked you, and you didn't answer your radio GPS question.
Both. That's a cop-out.
That is.
Oh, GPS, I like it.
Well, you use GPS. So
Yeah, I know I do, but I also use radio.
Yeah.
So have you got any funny falconry stories then? Because we skipped over that. But it's not really a quick-fire question.
It isn't a quick fire question, and actually I was trying to think of one whilst you were answering your question.
It took me a while.
I thought the funniest story that I would have was about when that wind took the marquee down for the weathering next to us at the fair. Because in hindsight, it's very funny. At the time, it wasn't funny.
We had to race in and help them.
But
Every single bloody pole was just tearing and
so
falling.
basically, well, let me explain it a little bit. So basically,
a hurricane flattened Kelmar.
Yeah, a hurricane flattened Kelmar show where we were running the falconry fair last year. And the wind came in all of a sudden, and we had some really nice.
Just almost took off.
Yeah, we had some nice.
And they did nothing. They stood around doing nothing.
We had some nice, nicely set up, properly professional marquees because we had the main weathering and everything, and we had a certain club came with quite a flimsy store-bought marquee.
This lady just stood there, just going, oh.
Yeah.
We had to rush in and help. The marquee was taking off. Oh.
Yeah, so the wind came in.
Oh gosh, it was funny.
Picked up, And these birds, these poor birds, so it was a weathering just like ours. Ours were in proper, even I was slightly worried about ours because of the way it was flexing and everything, but it was a properly, steel.
Look, we were good at battening down the hatches.
Yeah, we did.
We sealed up all the doors and everything. It was a full team effort.
Yes.
Us, Two Bird Experiences helped us. Kyle
I remember
helped us.
distinctly
Emily has helped us.
facing into the rain coming in horizontally.
Came
and
in.
trying to close the marquees. Yeah.
Yeah, I just shouted at everybody, get all the doors shut, and thankfully we all banded together and got on. But this marquee.
Yeah, so this marquee, so we ran next door when it was about to come down, and there were birds underneath it as well. So it was like, Christ, we all basically took a leg of the marquee to try and hold it down.
A goshawk was almost decapitated.
Yeah, because the whole thing started crumbling. So even the poles and everything started coming out of the marquee.
Yeah, they started like twisting on themselves and tearing off.
Yeah.
To make really jagged, sharp edges.
Yeah,
that
and
were
started
then
swinging
around
near the birds, and they were standing there not getting their birds in. It was like, come on, guys.
They did nothing.
Yeah, come on, guys, just get your birds in whilst we try and keep this vaguely up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
God.
That was my story.
But what a beautiful thing to see after the wind had died down is that. I mean, maybe not a beautiful thing for everybody else, but it was for us. You turn around. I stood in the arena and I spun around in a circle just looking at the event, just seeing the entire of Kelmarsh event flattened by this hurricane that just
the
like
radio.
come in.
Well, we have radios with us, and the radio was going absolutely insane.
So there were marquees all over the place. The whole place, everything was collapsed. But
our bit was nice.
The Falconry Fair, other than this one silly marquee from
yeah.
Flimsy One, the Falconry Fair stood strong.
Yeah.
The main arena was cancelled, nothing else happened in there, and we continued to do our displays.
Yes.
So the event was in a shambles.
And,
it was
and
flattened.
no birds got lost.
Not a single bird flew off.
Yeah.
We continued.
And I should mention as well, the birds that were under that marquee were absolutely fine.
Which then meant, they're all fine. Which then meant that we were the only entertainment happening at that entire event.
Yes.
So we ended up with enormous crowds, which was lovely.
It was excellent, so we did very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I think that will do.
I think that'll do as well. I think we've done very well.
Should we quiz each other then?
Gold star each.
Gold star each. Right. So then, I have a bird call for you.
Go on then.
Who's that bird? Guess the bird call.
That bird.
That
was the name we decided.
Who's that bird?
Yeah. Who?
Right, now, oh no. I clicked on an
Either
advert
way,
by accident.
We cut and then let me have a wee.
Oh, we've only got a few minutes left.
Okay.
Right. So, are you ready? I think this is going to be a very easy one for you. It's not that.
That's so easy. Do you want the scientific name? Or do you want the alternative name? Bay-winged hawk, Parabuteo unicinctus harris hawk.
Yes, it is the beautiful call of a Harris hawk.
Yeah. The wonderful, really calming call.
Right.
Something you'd
so
want
are you going
to
to play me one?
Yes, I am, but I hope I haven't lost it. Also, I'm going to face it this
way.
way.
Well, yeah, I don't want to see the screen. Tilt it up a bit.
That's what I'm doing. God.
We've sent Echo to sleep.
Well,
Echo's joined us for the podcast. Echo, the border collie, my dog. And she's
just got
completely asleep with her tongue stuck out on the sofa in between us.
Right. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, Delta wants to know what it is.
Oh. It's a, it must be a type of kite.
Go on. Just chance it.
It will either be black or yellow billed.
No, it's a sparrowhawk.
Oh. Oh, okay.
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh,
you wouldn't expect it. Yeah, I thought that might be too easy, but no. Definitely a sparrowhawk.
Too easy? You picked a true hawk.
Yeah.
When have I worked with true hawks?
That's true, yeah.
True hawks are reserved for traditional hunting falconry.
Yes.
We don't use true hawks.
I was recommended a true hawk, and I just thought, wait, that's completely
true
opposite.
Hawks are just not used in our industry.
Yeah.
They are my biggest
hunting
handicap
yeah.
in bird knowledge. My biggest gap
Have
in
you ever
bird
flown
knowledge.
one at all?
Yeah, I've flown a couple of goshawks.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Never flown a sparrowhawk.
I've
Never
flown
worked
them.
with a sparrowhawk.
No, I've never
before.
worked with any of them.
So I did not know what they sounded like.
Oh, well, that was okay.
Apparently similar to a kite.
Yeah.
So then, scientific name. I
Scientific-
want you to really think about this
Well,
because you can work it out. I think it's workoutable
okay.
if you really think about
Okay.
it. So my scientific name to you, Haliaetus lusocephalus.
Oh, I know it. Oh, it's so annoying. Haliaetus is...
Break it down.
Eagle.
Haliaetus lusocephalus. Might help you if I pronounce it maybe slightly differently. Haliaetus lusocephalus.
The lights are on, but nobody's home. Cephalus.
Haliaetus,
Haliaetus.
having white tail.
You bastard.
Luso, white.
White-tailed sea eagle.
Cephalus, head.
Oh.
White tail, white
Bald
head.
eagle,
Bald
yeah,
eagle, yes.
yeah, okay, right.
Right, go on then. Scientific name. You have to look it up. Don't show me the screen then.
Yes. Oh, no, I do know it. You're going to get this one immediately. Falco rusticulus. Or
Falco
rusticulus.
rusticulus, a jur.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew you would.
Falco rusticulus. Yes.
Rusticulus?
Rusticulus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rustic, very rustic looking bird. Not rustic looking though, are they?
No.
Very prim and proper.
Yeah,
very
prim
prim and
proper
very
and new
white.
looking. Nice
Very
and,
proper white bird.
You know,
A nice white falcon.
a nice white falcon.
Yes.
A nice white falconer.
So, no, Delta, you can get down. Delta's not part of the podcast. No,
Delta, sit.
Delta's not part of the podcast.
Sit.
Sit. We need to sign off.
Little one.
It's a little one.
Little one.
A little whisper.
Good boy. Excellent.
And then do a big one. A big one.
Big
What noise
one.
a dog make? Oh, no, okay. Oh. Right, okay, that's enough now. So, this has been the first episode of the OwlyFans Podcast. We hope you have enjoyed it. We hope you will stick around. We have got all kinds of different things
Yes.
to say, different topics, episodes coming up include a whole behind the scenes what actually went down at Highclere
Yes,
Falconry
that'd be
Fair.
very interesting.
That would be interesting. As well as I think if we've got time in that one, I think it would be fun to also include some other funny stories like what we've done today
Yeah, I think
that
so
have
as well,
happened
yeah.
at events.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Other funny events that don't always have to be the Falconry Fairs.
And we need to do some
Like
little
how you
explanation
almost
video.
threw up on the organiser
Oh, that
of
was
an
good.
event.
Yeah, no, yeah, all right.
So
yeah.
there's a little plug for
Yeah.
a future episode. If
Yes.
you want to know why Jake almost threw up on an organiser,
I was gonna say, that would have been a better story, actually, wouldn't it? I didn't think about that one. Yeah, yeah.
we'll save it for a later
We'll save
day.
that one for later. Look, always want the audience wanting more. Leave
We
the audience
have
wanting more, so.
some special guests that will also be joining the
Yeah.
podcasts.
So you won't just get sick of listening to us drone on and on
Yeah.
and on.
So one that we're hoping to set up is that I've got a friend who's only just started falconry here in the UK. You've got a friend who's just started falconry in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. Well-
and we're going to try and get them together.
Yeah,
and
it's a long process in America.
Yes,
She's
yes.
been doing falconry for a while, but yeah.
An apprentice.
Yeah.
No, you two, don't start playing yet. Let's get through this first. So we're hoping to get those two together and discuss the differences in starting. Dave Sharpe has agreed to be a host.
And that'll be really exciting, yeah.
A couple of my German friends are going to come on as guests so we can discuss
We need to get
European falconry
Mima
with
at some
British.
point.
Attempt to get Mima. No. Yeah, when pigs fly.
Yeah.
I think she's retired. She's currently ignoring me.
Oh,
She's left me on red.
she's left you on rest. Well, taste of your own medicine, yeah.
I think I sent her too many messages and she got sick of me.
Were you drunk?
No, I was not drunk.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll speak to her.
Oh, yeah. It'd be nice to have her at some point. It's a big ask. But
I don't know.
nice.
I'll ask her. I mean, she agreed to do an interview with me, so
Yeah.
so maybe we'd just
Well,
change
that's
it into
what
a
I mean.
podcast.
We could just do a podcast episode because it'll be interesting for.
Yeah. So
so-
stick around, because we may one day even have Mima on.
That is
That's such a
big
bold claim.
Yeah.
But I guess follow us on all of our social medias and everything. From Mercer Falconry, I've been Dan Mercer.
And from JM Falconry, I've been Jake Murray.
And subscribe to our OwlyFans.
What Oh, okay.
80s porn
The
music.
tune had to work its way in a little bit before I understood.
Do, 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 do.
The voice of an angel.
Bye bye.